Vayishma Hashem as kol divreichem vayiktzov vayishav alemor. Hashem heard the sound of their words. He got angry and he swore that the Jewish people would not, that generation would not be allowed to enter into the land of Israel after the failed mission and the belief and believing of the spies. But says Rav Shlomo Kluger, Hashem heard the voice of their words. Isn't it simply enough to say that Hashem heard their words and got angry? Explains Rav Shlomo Kluger, it's not just the words that made him disappointed, because the words are not necessarily bad in and of themselves, but it was the way that the words were communicated. The sadness that the Jewish people felt, the cries that they felt at that moment, listening to the spies and hearing their side of things and their perspective about Israel and how difficult it will be to accomplish their mission and enter the land, it was a cry of resignation. It wasn't just a cry of sadness. Because yes, when things are tough, we can be sad and concerned and nervous and unsure. But to resign oneself to a fate that there is no hope is antithetical to Judaism, because we know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in charge and things can change on an instant. Vayishma Hashem as kol divreichem. Hashem heard the voice behind those words, Vayikzof, and he got angry. He said, the reason why I'm not allowing you the opportunity to enter into the land of Israel, and you'll be stuck and condemned there for 40 years, is because of the kol divreichem, the attitude behind it, the feeling of resignation, of giving up hope that it was over. Our job is to always remember that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in charge. We can express our feelings and be vulnerable and be nervous, but ultimately it's Hashem who's in charge. And perhaps that helps us explain the psukim in Yirmiyah. Mini kolech mi bechi ve'enayach min dima. Hashem says, Mini kolech mi bechi. Your voice should be refrained from crying. Mini kolech mi bechi. Why do we have to mention again the sound of the cries? Just say mini bechi. Just stop the crying. The kol mi bechi is the attitude behind those cries, the perspective that I have no chance, the perspective that it's all over, that we are condemned to a certain type of life and there's nothing that can do that, or no one that can change it. No, says Yirmiyah, yesh tikva lacharisech. There is hope. There's always hope. So as long as our perspective is one that there's of not resignation, yes, sadness, yes, concern, but always hope, that's yesh tikva lacharisech. And I think we see again this week where 104 members of the House voted to stop all aid to Israel. It's ominous. It's sad. It's depressing, along with all the other hate that Jewish people have experienced all across the world. And there is a feeling of uncertainty and loss and a concern for the future. But resignation is not allowed. Giving up hope, feeling that there's no chance, that this is how it's going to be, it's only going to get worse, we have no chance, this is just the way that it is, and this is the way that it's going to be, is not our perspective. Yesh tikva lacharisech. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in charge. We can be sad, but we can also get resolve, become more resolved, and say, you know what? Yes, things are not looking great, but we're going to do what we can to try to make a difference, to try to shift it. But ultimately, as sad as things are, and it's certainly much worse in Europe, we know that there's a higher power here. And so long as we keep that perspective in mind, we understand that we will always be okay. Have a wonderful Shabbos.